Alright, we're on the draw again for round number 4. But we've got a keeper here. Doesn't have blue mana again, but we do have 2 burn spells and a risk factor, which should put us on the right foot. See what we're up against. Sacred Foundry. Interesting. Kinda hope he plays in a Danto Vanguard here. Oh, nothing. Alright, I'll shock your face then. Okay, that's a pretty good draw. I'm okay with playing that into open mana, because if he kills it, it's no skin off my back. I still got 2 damage out of it. Electromancer is the one that I generally try to protect until I can play something with the discount first. What do we have here? 3 mana. History of Benalia, that's a good one. Land would have been good here. So now we have the age-old question. Do we keep going after his face, or do we try to control the board? And I think here, unfortunately, I have to choose the latter. How do I want to do it, though? I do want to shock this knight, but I feel like I want to save this lightning strike in case he plays something first that I need to deal with. Four mana. Nothing, huh? I can take 2, that's not too bad. And I'll just shock, assuming, yeah, that's not really what I wanted to see there. So this is going to be a difficult game, for sure. Lands up start. But that History of Benalia is going to go off here. How's this going to play out? Risk factor puts him to 12. Next turn I have the option, if I draw land, I can Lightning Strike plus copy. But in the meantime I'm taking 8, which is a lot of damage. I think I just have to keep burning his guys, which kind of sucks. So we'll take 4. We need to start, like a blue source would be a good start. Like Sulphur Falls or Drowned Catacomb. Shocking, that can't be good news. 5 drop. Demanding Dragon. Oh, I guess I'm taking a bunch of damage. Well, blue source a little late there, and we're actually just dead on board, I believe. I can shock, play Electromancer, block one guy. Yep, just dead. Just a little too slow on the draw. Up against red-white aggro. Good news is I don't have to do too much. Don't really need to interact with his creatures too much. Consider bringing this in because he has burn spells. Probably want Ionize. His deck operates mostly at sorcery speed, and this can punish him if we're on the play. Same with Spell Pierce, potentially. I want to keep in the Sovereign's Bites for once because we do care about the life gain. Trim on Diplomacies. Trim on possibly one of these. Do something like this. Whoops, sort by mana cost. Do I want all the shocks is the question. Probably not on the play. You can do like 2. He doesn't have any must-kill threats. At best, we're getting like half of a History of Benalia with it. I don't know what else they're playing, but generally stuff that I'm going to care about is not going to be as much of an issue on the play. Maybe I even take out all the shocks and bring in the extra Ionize since we're on the play. Kind of want to dictate the tempo of the game. I think that makes sense to me. I don't think I want the search for his Cantas, they're a little too slow. Could consider bringing him in over like Pyromancer, but yeah, it's a thought. I think I'm gonna go with my gut and just keep the creatures. I don't want to go with search and risk that being a dead card if he's more aggressive than I think. I feel like he's more mid-range than aggro, but All the same, I want to play it a little safe until I have a better idea. This is not a good hand. This one's not great either, but we have to keep it. Keep that on top. If he does have cards like a Danto Vanguard, I'm going to feel pretty foolish taking out my shocks. That is actually fine. That turns off Pyromancer pretty well, but luckily I don't have one in my hand. Okay. I am going to pass the turn, I think, because I don't want to see History of Benalia come down. This is part of the awkwardness with Sword Point Diplomacy costing 3 and being a sorcery. Yeah, I think I want to wait at least one turn to make sure that disaster doesn't strike. He might suspect what's up, but the nice thing is next turn I'll still be able to deploy this and have Spell Pierce ready to go. Looks like he's just playing into it anyway. Okay, good, get that out of here. Let's go and drop the Diplomacy, see what he wants to give me. Ooh, it's a solid little batch. At this point, lands are a higher commodity than most things, because I have so many mana intensive options at the moment. Part of the reason I like Risk Factor more than Sword Point Diplomacy in general is because it combos better with your instant speed cards like Ionize post board. And obviously the flashback mode is super nice. Him being at 20 is not ideal, but this is still kind of a difficult decision for him, not knowing what's in my hand. Gives me the Ionize and takes 6. Sure. So he gets to resolve something this turn, hopefully not too devastating. Okay, it's not the end of the world. Go to 18, F6. Okay, land, I actually like that a lot. Here we get to hold up Ionize, which he knows about, so he's not going to play into it. So instead we get to go Risk Factor plus Copy, which is just as good. So we'll go to 13. Oh, he is going to play into it. Do I want to counter that? 4, 5. So we're going to 8 currently. We would be going to 6, so a double lightning strike would... Very interesting. I feel like this is bait though, because he knows about the Ionize, so I'm going to let it resolve. So I'm going to hold control. Boom, boom, boom. Holding control. Copy. What you want to do? This is a pretty risky play if they're playing a blue deck, because if they counter the original spell, you get 2 for 1. Same target. What you want to do? You want to take it all? You do, huh? Okay. That means Banefire is lethal if we draw 1 more land. This is actually a difficult decision. If I want to play this land or not, or if I want to go for Risk Factor first. Tricky spot. If I had one more card in hand, this would be an easy decision. I could also risk factor pitching the Banefire, which is super risky, but that lets me hold up Ionize as well, which he knows about, so he would have to let me draw 3. Yeah, I think I have to play land either way. He's F6, which means he doesn't have lightning strikes in his hand. That's good to know. So we'll take this, go to 6. Is he gonna play something? He is. Alright, cool. So that should be game. We untap and kaboom. Alright, close one. So it turns out he is more aggressive than I thought, which means here we're going to have to be much more defensive. I think we need the lava coils and some number of shocks to deal with his threats. So I might just want to cut all my sword point diplomacies here. I don't love it, but it's just so slow and unwieldy. Probably trim like 2 Ionizes. All of them are going to be kind of unwieldy as well. Although cutting the diplomacies mean that our deck is much better at interacting instant speed. So that's something to keep in mind. Here I like the Pyromancers a little less. We can consider cutting those 2. Do something like this. Maybe trim one of the shocks. Or the lava coils. Or even a Sovereign's Bite at this point. Now that we're more of a control deck, we don't want a card that just does nothing but direct damage. Tough call, tough call. Could even cut all the Pyromancers. I still like having some of them, because they can block hold off night tokens a little bit. Potential Adonto Vanguards make those more difficult. Although he does also have the that one creature that makes my life hard, so maybe I just cut all of them. That makes my Wizard's Lightnings a little less reliable. What else would I potentially want? This I like a little more now that we're bringing in extra removal, because I can just copy a lava coil and clean up the board a little bit. So I think this makes sense to me. Not sure if it's right to cut all the sword point diplomacies or all these, but I think it makes sense in my mind. Alright. Well, this hand's a keep, but it's not great. Oof. Need to not draw lands, or alternatively start drawing a bunch of risk factors, or X spells. Okay, he's not shocking himself. History of Benalia, don't want to see that here. Tajik. Okay, it's not the end of the world. Ooh, that's pretty good too. Let's pass the turn. We'll counter something if he plays it. I'm just gonna take this hit. If he does nothing, I'll Wizard's Lightning it. We are playing the control game here. Currently, anyway. Let's go ahead and ionize that. That's pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to use it right now, but it's nice to have. The one thing I don't want to see here is probably Demanding Dragon. I guess I should Wizard's Lightning now. Save myself as much damage as possible. It telegraphs the fact that I don't have a whatever you call it, counterspell, but I don't think he would play around it anyway. Okay, that's good news for me, because that's way less pressure than a Demanding Dragon would have been. That's good too. Don't know if I want to shock that just yet. Maybe take one hit from it and see what he does. If he plays like another Tajik or something, I'm going to want to do that. Okay, let's, now I guess I'll shock. I know I'm going to want to do that eventually because next turn we're going to take oodles of damage otherwise. We'll fire this off. Oops, need red. Okay. Guess technically I should have played that untapped, or played this untapped and then pitched the steam vents. So here we're going to take 4, which is fine. The reason I should have done that is in case he decides to let me draw on risk factor and I draw into like an ionize or something. Looks like he doesn't have much pressure right now. Oh, here comes something big. Yep, that's the dragon I was worried about. Yep, I go to 8, flash this back. Discard Swamp. He should just take 7. Yep. Okay, so we're gonna go to 1 here. We have to hope he doesn't have anything and that we draw Banefire. It's not the best spot, but if we go to 1, am I dead? Yes. Alright, GG, sir. That would not have gotten the job done. The only thing I can think here that we could have done differently is if this Sovereign's Bite had been Sword Point Diplomacy, would this game have gone significantly differently? Not sure. It's hard to know, really, without having played with this deck enough. I don't know if it was correct to keep these in or not. But yeah, not sure.